Hello, everybody. Good morning and happy Wednesday to you. I don't know if anybody else can feel the spring in the air, but it's enjoyable here that we're losing that southeastern Connecticut bite that's in the air when we live here near the water. So obviously, with spring coming in, the equinox being tomorrow, people are thinking about spring, but they're also comes along with thinking about cleaning, which brings up a lot of things for me. This is going to be a very personal episode of Project Joy Live for me today, but I hope you'll stick around and join us right now. Everybody, good morning and happy Wednesday to you. It is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. I hope you all had a great St. Patrick's Day on Monday. We had a show that day, but I know some of y'all had other things going on, so I hope you all had a fun St. Patrick's Day. I still have some of my green crystals that I took out here. I have a little green heart and a little green point, and I think they're at both actually. I think one is quartz and one is adventuring, but I don't know. I've got them labeled in my box. So anyway, I hope you are doing well today. We're halfway through the week, everybody. Congratulations. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. This is Project Joy Live. It's your triple shot of good vibes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at this 9 a.m. Eastern time hour. And today we're going to be talking about spring cleaning for the soul. But this is going to be a very raw and real episode for me because the idea of cleaning, organizing, decluttering, all of that stuff is not something that comes easily to me. And I want to take you a little bit through some of the questions that have popped up in my own mind, as well as a little bit of my journey and stuff as well, and how I've been able to find some sense of joy in it. Obviously knowing that I am the joy, but the joy in the in the thing itself is sometimes challenging. Let me know where you're joining from and what is bringing you joy today. And we will head over and start our joy conversation. Here we go. All right, so our joy conversation is joy meets conversation. It's a way for us to get to know each other through a fun question. Since tomorrow is the spring equinox, the question today is, what is your favorite thing, if anything, about springtime? And I will tell you a little story. So my grandparents had this little Cape Cod home here in southeastern Connecticut, and when I was growing up, and all along the line, the edge of the driveway, they would have the daffodils that would pop up. They had the bulbs planted, and every spring they would pop up. Just the yellow and white ones. They were my favorite things on the planet. And I didn't know how easily those plants, like how not easily, what's the word I'm looking for? They're tough. They're tough. Bulbs are very interesting to me because you plant them, right? And then they come up. And then, especially in this area of the world, they get snowed on, they get trampled over, sleeted, all of those things. And they still come up in the springtime. And so not only do I love the daffodils that pop up, but it's always a good reminder to me of perseverance and how we really can get through a lot of the crap that we are thrown in life. We can be as strong as a bulb of a daffodil. That's what I think. So my favorite thing about springtime is the daffodils that come up. My not so favorite thing is some of the allergies as plants and whatnot are blooming, but I will digress about that. But I do love the daffodils. So that's my favorite thing about springtime. I also love Easter. I love Easter as a holiday. I have a lot of really good memories growing up of going to church, Easter egg hunting, and as I shared, we are currently during the season of Lent right now for some, whoever's celebrating Lent or not celebrating, but rather observing the season of Lent, which is the 40 days leading up to Easter. And I have a lot of really good memories about that growing up and as well. So this is a really kind of special time of year. Springtime, alas, is not my favorite season. However, do love the daffodils and Easter and all of that fun stuff. I'm looking forward to the fall. So all of that said, I can't forget that summer that's whipping through there in between as well. Happy Wednesday to you, Miss Brittany. My favorite thing, she says, is watching everything sprout again. I yes, yes, I like the things sprouting, but usually sprouting for me comes with sneezing and whatnot. So it's not super fun for me. But I do like the daffodils. I like the bulbs and the tulips as well. Those are pretty. Good morning, Teresa. Good to see you today. Brittany said my least favorite thing is the wasp. Now, see, we had wasps here. We have wasps here in southeastern Connecticut, but they don't come till later. They don't come till like summertime. But the wasps that we experienced down when I lived in Alabama, that was a whole other experience. That was a no thank you, never again experience. Those wasps down south have a vendetta against human beings, I think. It was not, they're just so even more aggressive than they are here. But I think what we have worse here in southeastern Connecticut than the wasps is the yellow jackets. No. Mm-mm. Not a fun thing at all. And we had the first house that we were living in when we moved back here to southeastern Connecticut had there was a couple different yellow jacket nests. It's just not a fun time. 0 stars. Do not recommend. So let me know. We're going to go to a break and dive into we're going to go to a break and we're going to dive into our topic today, spring cleaning for the soul. And during the break, if you haven't chimed in yet, I would love to hear from you. What is your favorite thing about springtime? And we'll be right back after this.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home. Where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
welcome back to Project Joy Live. Today is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. I hope you are doing well today. Yes, let's go back and focus on the daffodils because I don't want to talk about wasps or yellow jackets or or allergies or any of that nonsense anymore. Let me know what is your favorite thing about springtime, and I appreciate you chiming in on today's Joy Versation. All of that being said, today I mentioned that this episode is personal because we are talking about clutter in all its forms, the things we collect in our homes, the thoughts that fill our minds, and the emotions that weigh on our hearts. Now, over the last decade, we've seen a massive push towards decluttering thanks to shows like Hoarders and Marie Kondo's KonMari method. And everywhere you look, including even the Breakthrough Show for a short period of time, there's this idea that less is always better. And for some people, that's absolutely true. Minimalism, tidying up, and clearing space can be incredibly freeing. But I'm going to be really honest with you today. I don't always believe that decluttering is necessary. In fact, for me, the pressure to declutter from certain people that were in my life didn't feel freeing at all. It made me feel like I was never enough, like my home, my space, even my way of thinking didn't quite measure up. And instead of helping me to feel lighter, it pushed me into a space of comparison, inadequacy, and self doubt. And that's why I believe that decluttering, whether physical, emotional, mental, whatever you want to declutter, it's a personal journey. It's not about following rules, it's about discovering what truly brings you peace, joy, and freedom. It's not about getting rid of things for the sake of it, but it's about making space for what matters. And just that little mindset shift itself has been such a huge thing for me. So today, let's talk about it. What does spring cleaning for the soul look like for you? And how can we make space for more joy, which is the point of Project Joy Live, without falling into the trap of comparison or pressure to do it? So that's what I want to talk about with you today. So the decluttering movement, is it always necessary? Is it always necessary? That's the question. As I mentioned, over the last decade, there's been a huge cultural push towards decluttering, thanks to the shows like Hoarders, Marie Kondo's KonMari method. I think it's called the Magic of Tidying Up, her book. And while I 100% feel that many people have found freedom, clarity, and peace through decluttering, for me there was such a big period of time of my life where I thought I was doing all of the things. Number one, I was in this space of feeling like I had to, because it was what I happened to be seeing. See, this is one of the ways that social media, I feel like, can really have such a huge impact on us. If we're scrolling through our timelines and that's all we're seeing is decluttering and cleaning and pictures of people's pristine things, or even not, even the really bad things, you can find yourself in a place of judgment and comparison by going, oh, my house doesn't look as good as theirs, or thank God it doesn't look this bad. You just find yourself in that space. And even in groups that I was in where the focus was on decluttering and having a safe space to do that, it put me in this place of where it's like, okay, I have all this stuff to do because I am a clutter bug. I have lots of little things, and that makes me comfortable. And then other people in the group would be like, oh, they show their background and they would be like, oh, I have to, dust my shelf today. It's so bad, guys. And like everything else would literally look like a museum. There might have been one piece of dust there. And I'm sitting back going, well, if that's bad, how bad must my space be? So it's a really, really tough time for me where I thought that this is what I had to do. I was in that have to and should space, as opposed to this is what I really want to do for me, or for my family or whatever. And it was just really hard for me. Um, and then the other part that's been challenging for me during this journey is how clutter is oft I mean, I don't I can't think of one time where I've heard anything positive about the word clutter. I can't think of one time where I've heard clutter not being referred to as something negative. And I think that it's been important for me to note that not all clutter is bad. And that our perception of clutter is going to vary so much person to person. Some people find joy in keeping sentimental items, collections, and appreciate a more lived in space. I had someone that I knew years ago that I went into their home. Now, I want to put it out there, absolutely gorgeous home, really well kept. There was no, and I say this with love, there was no sign of life anywhere. Okay. It literally looked like a museum. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't beautiful and stunning or that you couldn't feel loved in that space, but there was so much anxiety around, like, don't touch that or sit on that just right. Or, it just didn't look like my life. You know what I mean? And so for me, and I've shared this before. So I have this, and Brittany's seen this because she's been on the other side of this. She sat next to me right here. I have a bulletin board on my wall here that I like to keep a lot of my really sentimental things, postcards I've received, pictures my kids have drawn me, pictures that mean a lot to me of people that have passed, Cheryl, my brother, my grandmother, Dorothy Auger. Um, I've got a picture up here from a homecoming dance that I went to freshman year. I've got the picture of my friend Henry that passed away. I've got some of the postcards from Richard from Postcards of New York, ticket stubs, all of that. You can't even see the, the bulletin board. Now, while this, I fully recognize this bulletin board might create anxiety for a lot of people. However, it brings me so much joy as I'm sitting here talking to you guys on a show, to peek up, and I'm literally looking right at it right now and be like, just have that moment to relive those things. It makes me feel really good. So some people feel much better in a more lived in space. And so I think it's important to evaluate what clutter means and looks like to you, because I've seen so many people that promote decluttering that just automatically go, well, you should declutter. Well, I'm here to say maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it just needs to be organized a little better. Maybe it needs to, I mean, and then we need to evaluate, is that space causing us stress? If it's causing us stress, then yes, a shift needs to be made. But if it's not causing us stress, if it's still a healthy space, if it's helping us in some kind of way, then F what people say has to be decluttered. Okay. Um, and the other thing I wanted to explore with this is that the push to declutter in extreme ways can actually cause harm, leading to feelings of not enoughness, comparison, or even shame. And that's a lot of what my experience had been in getting caught up in the sort of declutter movement a couple years ago. And so I was looking up information and I found several threads on social media, on Reddit, a lot of places like that, that talk about when decluttering can become problematic. It can become compulsive. It can lead to feeling overwhelmed, emotionally drained, or and sometimes it can result in a lack of necessary items or even a feeling of insecurity. So I wanted to talk about a couple of these things really quick. One, compulsive decluttering, just as hoarding can be a problem, so can compulsive decluttering. Two, feeling overwhelmed and emotionally drained by it. If you have a lot of things that you need to get rid of, I am here to tell you that's hard. It's hard. It's exhausting. It really is. If you declutter too aggressively, you might end up without essential things that you need, lack of necessary items. Anybody else, raise your hand if so I know I'm not alone here. Have you ever gone on like a decluttering spree? Like you feel like, okay, I need to get rid of all this crap, and you throw a bunch of stuff away, and then you find out later now you have to rebuy a box of band-aids because because you've just thrown it out. Like, you've got to end up replacing stuff that you just on a whim. I've done this a couple of times, you guys. I don't know if anybody else has done this before, where I've just been absolutely sick of myself and my space, and I just throw all this stuff away, and then I end up having to spend money to replace those things. So it's important to like go a little bit slower, I think, or maybe process it a little bit more. Um, Also, sentimental items. It can be really, really difficult for people to get rid of items with sentimental value, and forcing yourself to do that when you're not ready to can really be emotionally damaging. It truly can. um you can It can leave you with a feeling of insecurity. Some people hold on to things because they feel a sense of security. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do the work to evaluate, why do I feel like a certain thing makes me feel secure? But like we talked about, just getting rid of it can cause us more stress than if we haven't had the time to really process through it. Setting unrealistic goals for ourselves, like I said, getting in that place of comparison, not reevaluating what you need, taking that time to reevaluate, and not seeking help. If you really have a desire to clean, reorganize, declutter, and it's overwhelming for you, you can end up making your situation worse by not asking for help. And it doesn't necessarily have to be through a professional, though if you are in a really rough situation, then that's the way you should go for sure. But make sure you are finding a professional that understands some of this stuff that I'm talking about, some of the really hard challenges with decluttering that aren't going to give you a single worksheet, a single one solve all way of cleaning and decluttering and all of that, but that understand that every person is different and is probably going to need different tools to help them out. So, as I shared, my personal experience included a really big feeling of a pressure to declutter. And that really started when I was younger, because I always felt better around stuff. And there's a lot of studies and whatnot that have been done about that, relating it to from everything on the positive side to creativity to some of the more challenging things like dealing with different things like ADHD. Even OCD for some people, lots of different things that can fall in with this. But I felt a certain pressure. I felt like I was always comparing, inadequate. I had a lot of self-doubt. And this is why I never tell people how they should declutter, and it's also why I am not a declutter expert. So this is me really coming to you guys from the space of, this is something that's been really hard for me, and so if I can shift my mindset a little bit, then maybe it can shift for other people as well. The biggest thing that I want to share that I feel like I've learned on my journey with things like cleaning, organizing, decluttering is, one, it's a very personal journey, but decluttering should feel like an act of self love rather than self criticism. Not like, oh, I need to go declutter because somebody said I should, or because somebody's coming over. Anybody else relate to that? We need to hurry up and straighten. I was just talking to Teresa about this morning. We need to hurry up and straighten up and do all these things because people can come over. And the problem, because of this habit that I got in of this should, I still struggle when people that come over to not be like, I need to organize my spices A to Z, because company's going to look at that, guys. Company's going to look at whether or not your paprika is in the pea section. Okay. Spoiler alert, your company doesn't give a shit where the paprika is. Okay. They don't care. So, um, it's really been a shift in feeling a pressure or a should to declutter for me, and a is this something that I feel like will benefit me, and evaluating, are certain things causing me stress. I don't like to have to rush to tidy up if somebody's going to pop over or whatever else. So I really recognized for me that if my goal is to live with less stress, then one of the things I can do to help that is to do this like a sort of daily tidying, etc. So, how do we know what's right for us? I As much as people knock Marie Kondo's method, where uh what she does is she asks people, excuse me, when they're decluttering, to ask themselves what sparks joy within them. So like you're supposed to literally pick up, you have all these mugs, right? And you're like wanting to declutter your mugs. You pick up the mug, you talk to it, you create a relationship with it, and you ask it, like, does this spark joy for me? And if it doesn't, you're supposed to thank it. And then you're like literally have a moment of thanks with the physical item and put it aside. I actually love that. I know a lot of people knock that. There's been some memes that have gone around that have said like um something to the effect of I I tried Marie Kondo's method, and next thing you know, I've thrown away all of my bills, my treadmill, my bra, the lettuce in my fridge, like all of these things that we maybe um don't feel as much joy about as other things in our lives. But um I think that it's helpful to ask the items, does this bring me, doesn't even have to be joy. Does this bring me peace, joy, or comfort? There's lots of different things that you can question. Does it help me on the path that I'm on? Is it contributing? And we talk about this so often within the network, you guys. Um, is this contributing to what I say I want in my life? Now, that lettuce that you just tossed out of the fridge because it didn't bring you joy, it might not bring you joy, but that lettuce could be contributing to a more healthy lifestyle. So please don't throw the lettuce away. you know, if you say you want a healthy lifestyle, then the lettuce might be helping you with that. I don't know. Um, and then another great question, is this supporting my life or is it making me feel heavier? Is this thing making me feel weighed down? And I think that all of these things apply whether we are talking about physical clutter, a cluttered brain, or even a cluttered heart, where we have so much that feels like we are um, being weighted down by. One of the things that has helped me a little bit from time to time is when I feel like I have a ton of ideas, I have a ton of stuff in my brain, is to actually schedule in time to write all that down. I just went through, speaking of clutter, I just went through my list of notes in my notepad on my iPhone. So we have the note section. I just, I'm just gonna give you a little. I write a lot of notes, my friends, okay? And this, I just got rid of like at least half. I am not kidding you when I tell you I would have some notes that would say like something really weird in the title, like I can't even give you an example right now, but it would say something like super red beets. And then you would open the note and there would be nothing in there. It would be nothing in there. It was the funniest thing going through all of these. But I love my notes because if I put them all here, then they're not driving me nuts up here. And I don't feel like I have to keep them front of mind. Now, the key is to go through it more often than I have, because you don't necessarily need to take up space for blank notes either, within your digital devices. But um, it's important, I think, to go back and revisit and all of that. So it's been an interesting journey anyway. I'm gonna go check over on the comments really quickly. Um, yes, I've had this conversation with my neighbor about throwing things or giving things away and then later needing it. I mean, if we feel all of this pressure from whoever, it could be outside of us, could be within us, to go declutter, and then we just do it without going, but is this right for me right now? Do I need to, is there some sort of like overwhelming need for me to do this, or is am I just feeling the pressure from whether it's within or without? Um Sharon said, I have noticed lately I've been wanting to declutter. When I'm in a good space, I am able to declutter. I care more about my space and releasing things when I feel good. That's such a good point. Though it's interesting because I know a lot of people, and my husband is one of these people, that when he gets angry or upset or sad or anything like that, he will immediately want to clean. It brings him comfort. I am the opposite. I am very similar to you, Sharon. When I feel good, that's when I mostly want to be like, okay, let's address this, as opposed to when I feel bad, I just want to get a cookie and lay, lay in bed. That's what I want to do. Um, so let's see. Brittany said, I have a bad habit of that too. Having company comes over gives me anxiety if my house isn't clean. I want to say it stems from my mom. I'd consider her one of those excessive decluttering individuals. And sometimes that makes a huge difference how we were raised. Um, as far as like there's some things regarding cleaning and decluttering that are traumatizing. Um, I'm going to digress. I'm going to plead the fifth on continuing down the rabbit hole of that. But so it's interesting. I think the biggest thing is taking the time to evaluate what's right for us, asking for help when needed. And I love the idea of just bringing a friend. We have, but doing it in a way where we don't feel pressured or in that comparison space. One of the things that I love to do is to show up in a space with someone else virtually and say, okay, we're both, we have things that we have to clean. We don't have to say what it is. We don't have to say, okay, we could say, my goal is to finish this bookshelf or whatever. You don't have to give specifics. But then the other person going, okay, my goal is to finish my chest of drawers or whatever. And then setting a timer and go. But you don't have to see the background. You don't have to get in comparison. You don't have to go, well, I'm not going to finish this bookshelf before she finishes her drawers because she has so much less to do than I do. And oh, I wish I had drawers that much space. Well, we do this sometimes, and there's no need to do that because we can put ourselves in a space where you can even turn the camera off. I think I'm gonna redo Kendrick Lamar's song, "Turn the TV off, turn the camera off." That's what I'm going to do. Turn the camera off and just get stuff done. But just knowing that you're not alone, having someone else in this space with you to go, hey, like, I might be struggling with this too, or I need to devote time to this too, and then getting that done. As opposed to being on a big camera like this and getting into judgy Jessica mode. We don't like that. We don't like that at all. Join Pomodoro. There it is. So all of that being said, we have some great, great spaces in our virtual community that facilitate growth. It can facilitate us decluttering. It can facilitate us breaking through, which we love to do here as well. And so, all of that being said, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I have a brand new breaking news. You heard it here first, premiere of our virtual community teaser video. So, we'll be right back after this.
Caldwell Williams. On April 4th, I was 90 years old, grandson of slaves. My parents are first generation free. A long time ago, I embraced the definition of love. Love is the experience of well being, and a friend is one who mutually shares that experience of well being with you, which opens up almost infinite creative possibilities.
We're told as children to go make friends, but what did that look like? And how has it changed over time? Friendship is one of life's greatest gifts, and sometimes one of its greatest challenges.
Someone who is there to support you, someone who is willing to go through the ups and downs of life with you.
Connection, but also the opportunity for learning and deeper connection.
If I don't talk to that person for 2 months, we pick up the phone like we've never stopped talking. To me, that is what a friend is.
Friend to me is someone I can share my joys, also the struggles I have.
Friend means somebody that you can talk to and that you can trust.
So a friend to me is actually someone really, really close, an inner circle person.
And I think it's an important discussion to pass on to other generations so they don't get caught being lonely at the end because they haven't thought about friends in different ways.
This is the Friendship Paradox, a raw and real exploration of connection. Through 26 voices across miles and time zones, we reflect on the friendships that shape us, challenge us, and teach us who we truly are.
I need your shoulder.
What does it mean to be a friend? How do we navigate connection in a world that's constantly changing? And what can we learn about friendship by looking within? This isn't just a film about friendship, it's a call to reflect on the relationships we've built, the ones we've lost, and the sacred connection we have with ourselves. What does friendship mean to you?
Back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Today is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025, and I am so excited because I shared with you guys that one thing that was bringing me incredible joy is that we participated in the World Building Expo last week, the 11th and 12th, which is a space that allows exhibitors to showcase their virtual communities that are immersive virtual communities like we have. And it's always so inspiring to me. This was our 4th time attending, our 3rd time participating, maybe our 5th time attending, 4th time participating. One of the two. We have been there. This was the 1-year anniversary of the World Building Expo, and it was so much fun and such an honor to be an exhibitor for the event. So many amazing connections to be made, and I really cannot tell you enough what an amazing place it is. And with that, I invite you to our virtual community. There it is, everybody, our little teaser of our virtual community. You can join anytime at the breakthroughshownetwork.club. You can also get there when you're through our regular website, thebreakthroughshownetwork.com. You'll see a little form in the middle that takes you to the virtual community. But I hope that you will pop in and join us. We have so many amazing spaces, and some of that will facilitate what we've been talking here today. So I hope you all enjoyed that little teaser. I have a really long, meaty, beautiful one coming, but we have things that have to happen before that comes out. So hope you, and like what is that? Enjoyed that little teaser. Miss Trist is here. She said, I'm late, but here, you're never late, Trista. You are right on time, exactly where you need to be. There's Miss Rhonda out there. Good morning. Loving that. Yes, I hope you guys can join us. Brittany dropped that link down below in the comments. I'll be showing that one more time before the end. It will also be premiering on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m. So we got to hurry this show up, guys. We got to hurry this show up. We can't finish the show, though, without doing birthdays. So let's knock that out real quick.
Happy birthday to you.
All right. I hope everybody that's having birthdays is scheduled to have a good one. All right. In the world of celebrity, my kids are going to love me for this. They're going to love me for this. Young Gravy has a birthday today. It's 29 years old. Anybody know who Young Gravy is out there? Anybody raise your hand? Bueller, anyone, let me know. He sampled a song, the very famous Rickroll song by Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. And I personally think that the song is very catchy. I enjoy it. However, when it comes on, it barely even plays before my girls are like, oh God, Mom, please no. Please no. So it's one of those very cringy mom moments over here. But he has a birthday today, so happy birthday, Young Gravy. Actor Bruce Willis is the big 7-0 today. I feel so deeply for what he's been going through, but we want to send him good vibes today, healing vibes, and of course, good birthday vibes as well. Podcaster, he's a trip. Theo Vaughn is 45 years old today. He has a lot of very controversial conversations that he has in his podcast and whatnot. Actress Glenn Close, 78 years old today. Wow. I didn't know that she was getting close to 80, but here we are. Glenn Close, a fantastic actress. And if you guys have not seen the 3 little movies that were made that go with the Sarah Plain and Tall books featuring Glenn Close, go do that and you can thank me later. Actress Rachel Blanchard, 48 years old today, and celebrity not only in my life but in yours, but is such a huge part of the network. Ferran freaking Dozier has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Ferran. Sending you so much love today, my fabulous Beyond 2D co-host. In addition, guys, he's going to be having a special broadcast that's coming out Thursday, April 17th. And he asked if it could be part of the network. So, of course, yes. And you guys will get to enjoy that. It's later at night, is past my bedtime, guys, when it comes out. But there will be more information coming out about that soon. So happy birthday, Ferran. All of that said, let's get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Young Gravy, Bruce Willis, Theo Vaughn, Glenn Close, Rachel Blanchard, and Ferran Dozier. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. This comment made me laugh so hard, Ron. Happy birthday, Ferran of Riverside. Ferran will get a laugh out of that. You guys might be like, oh God. It's one of those Young Gravy moments. That's what I'm going to refer to as awkward moments from here on out. Young Gravy moments. And my kids will get a kick out of that. So as we close today, I want to remind you of something important. Decluttering is not about perfection. It's not about having a home that looks like a Pinterest board or a mind that's completely free of worries. If you have a secret to that, please let me know. It's not about getting rid of things just because someone else and sometimes even us, says that you should. Decluttering on any level should be an act of self love and not self judgment. Because here's the truth, and we have been talking about this during the last 3 weeks of coffee. Soul Saturday morning coffee, Saturdays at 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. You are enough exactly as you are. Whether your space is neat or messy, whether your thoughts are organized or scattered, whether your heart feels full or heavy, you are enough. And if you choose to declutter, organize, clean, create, tidy, let it be because it brings you peace, not because you feel like you have to measure up to someone else's idea of what enough is. But here's the best part: you don't have to do it alone. As you saw in our community highlight reel, the Breakthrough Show Network's virtual community is filled with spaces to help you clear the clutter physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. Whether you need structure, support, or just a little motivation, we have resources and events to help you make space for what truly matters. If you want to clean, declutter, organize with other, join us for our Pomodoro style co-working sessions where we tackle our tasks together, which could include those things in time bursts of focus and rest. Need to clear your mental and emotional clutter? Our meditation space and our community meditations help you find clarity and reset. Feeling the urge to create something new? Our craft circle, which we have one coming up today at 1 p.m. Eastern time, gives you the space to express yourself. Prefer to work at your own pace? Our Self Pomodoro Suite offers tools and resources to keep you on track no matter your goals. Because at the end of the day, making space, whether it's clearing your physical space, your mental space, or your heart space, isn't just about what you remove. It's about what you're making room for. Room for joy, room for clarity, room for creativity, and most of all, room for you. So today, my invitation to you is simple: find one small way to make space for joy. Maybe that means letting go of an old habit. Maybe it means keeping something that brings you comfort. Maybe it means clearing a shelf. Maybe it means clearing a negative belief about yourself. Whatever it is, let it be for you, because the more space we create for ourselves, the more room we make for joy. And who doesn't need more of that in their life? I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Thank you so much for joining us today here on Project Joy Live. And I want to remind you that you are the joy. I'll be back Friday with an all new episode of Project Joy Live. Hop in this afternoon at the Breakthrough Show Network.club to join Brittany Floyd at 1 p.m. for Craft Circle and Kat Stomska at 5:30 p.m. for a beautiful poetry reading in our outdoor stage. I will see you guys next time, and I want to remind you that you are the joy. I love you all so much. See you soon.